You can feel the growing tension and the growing pressure here. A furious judge blasting both prosecution and the defense about a sensitive courthouse leak. This comes as the jurors saw yet another clip from another freak-off video between Diddy and Cassie, as well as sometimes affectionate and loving text messages between the two, talking about planning their next freak-off. Now this morning, Mrs. Janice Combs arrived here at the courthouse, as she does every morning for her son's trial. Only today was different. She sat alone in the courtroom, and there were no family members or close friends surrounding her as they usually do. The day began with Judge Arun Subramanian blasting prosecutors and defense lawyers for the media leak of sealed information known only to them. He threatened penalties for violating his gag order. A federal special agent was on the stand the entire day, detailing how Combs used his business credit cards to pay for damages to hotel rooms that happened after the freak-offs, and to pay for male escorts and their travel expenses, including airfare and hotels. Jurors were the only ones who saw yet another clip of a freak-off with Combs and Cassie, and many text messages between the couple, including a message from Combs a day after the 2016 hotel hallway beating, where he said to Cassie, "I'm so sorry." Cassie replied in part, quote, "I'd be a dummy to subject myself to that possibly happening again. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child." Now, what was interesting about these text messages between the two, which took hours of testimony time today, was how casual they were. They were going back and forth. Cassie talking about what outfits she would wear, even postponing a freak-off that was supposed to happen a day before that hotel beating because she had different errands to do, like getting her nails done. And they talked about these freak-offs and setting them up the way a lot of couples would talk about what their dinner plans are, where they're going to go, what kind of food are they going to have. It was that casual. But we'll see what happens, and the prosecution saying they expect to wrap up their part of the case by Friday. We'll see if that in fact does happen. Reporting live from federal court, I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Back to you in the studio. A lot today, Bianca, Natasha. It was a slow and rainy day outside, but inside the courtroom, the testimony was moving along at a very brisk pace. Everything from Los Angeles police and fire officials to Cassie's longtime stylist and confidant, who stayed true and loyal to his friend until the end. Now, this morning we learned more about the investigations into Kid Cudi's home invasions and the firebombing of his car. An LAPD officer said in December of 2011 he responded to a radio call of a possible burglary at Kid Cudi's home. When he arrived, the door was unlocked and a number of luxury items were in plain sight. He said Kid Cudi appeared flustered, but the officer said he did not report any sign of a gun or anything stolen. Also, an LA Fire Department arson investigator testified that he investigated the damage done to Kid Cudi's Porsche in January of 2012. He said it appeared to be targeted, but that the damage was nowhere near what he usually sees from a Molotov cocktail. There were no arrests in either case. Now, much of the afternoon was devoted to Diddy's longtime personal stylist, Deontay Nash, who became close friends with Cassie, styling her and other bad boy artists. He testified about seeing Combs beat Cassie and says he was also physically aggressive with him. He says he saw bruises on Cassie's body and that she used to go with Combs to a hotel weekly with a black bag of sex toys, which she told him she did not really want to be doing. Now, Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey said once again that the prosecution is ahead of schedule, and they're expecting to wrap up their portion of this case by the middle of June. As soon as they are finished, they will immediately begin presenting the defense case. The defense will have their turn to bring their witnesses, and it will go on. And they're expecting it to be all wrapped up pretty much by the 4th of July. But then again, with this case, as we've seen already in these first 3 weeks, anything is possible. That's the latest from federal court. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Natasha and Bianca, back to you.
And Lisa, before you go, Cassie Ventura made news of her own today.
Yes, she definitely made news of her own today. She delivered a healthy baby boy, from what we can tell. This is her third child with her husband, Alex Fine. And you remember, it was just a short time ago, less than 2 weeks ago, we were talking about her appearance here in court for 4 days straight, being very, very pregnant, walking up that aisle of that courtroom to testify. And then once she was there on that witness stand, going through emotional testimony for 4 days, rubbing her stomach, rubbing her belly, and a way of comforting herself and her unborn child. child at that time. But congratulations to them, and it's amazing what she went through at that particular time so late in her pregnancy. Natasha and Bianca?
You think about the amount of stress, so good for her. All right.
Shocking allegations already, Bianca, and this personal assistant to Diddy was here on the stand this morning amid unusual privacy and security concerns. Identified only as Mia, she began to tell the story of her nightmare, a nightmare that she says she could not escape. Now this morning, the sons of Sean Combs, Quincy, Justin, and Christian, also known as King Combs, made their way into federal court in a continuing show of support that began months ago during their father's pretrial hearings. This morning in the 26th floor courtroom, a woman identified only as Mia began her testimony about her time working as Combs' assistant. She said on her very first day she was not allowed to sleep for 24 hours, but went along with it because she thought it might be some kind of test, but explained things only got worse from there, that she was constantly cursed at and humiliated and not allowed to leave his homes where she was working and living without his permission. Once she said she did leave at night, he allegedly sent a security team to find her and bring her back. Now this is just the beginning, and clearly we'll be hearing a lot more about the alleged abuse she says she suffered at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs later on this afternoon. Now, as many people know, no cameras or phones even with cameras are allowed inside federal courtrooms, so we rely on sketches to bring you these stories. But today the judge made an unusual order telling the sketch artist that they could not draw her or any type of image for her in order to protect her privacy and her security. We're live at federal court. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Bianca, back to you. Finally hearing from first responders about two key incidents that are emerging as major focal points in this RICO sex trafficking case, and they both surround Kid Cudi and his disastrous fling with Cassie Ventura. Now, former Diddy assistant Capricorn Clark left court yesterday after testifying that Diddy allegedly abducted her at gunpoint and said he was going to kill Kid Cudi and drove to his house. This morning, an LAPD officer took the stand and said in December of 2011, he responded to a radio call of a possible burglary at Kid Cudi's home. When he arrived, the door was unlocked and a number of luxury items were in plain sight. He said Kid Cudi appeared flustered but did not report any sign of a gun or anything stolen. And then after him, an LA Fire Department arson investigator testified that he investigated the damage done to Kid Cudi's Porsche in January of 2012. He said it appeared to be targeted, but that the damage was nowhere near the extent of the damage that he usually sees when a Molotov cocktail is involved. Now, I have to tell you, Bianca, that just a few minutes ago we learned that the judge in the Diddy case denied a defense motion for a mistrial. So this trial is going to continue. Testimony expected this afternoon from a woman named Mia, who's described as another one of his former assistants, as well as one of Cassie Ventura's friends. That's the latest here from federal court. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Bianca, back to you. So today is the start of week 3, Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Here at the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, his attorneys continue to deny all charges, say that this was basically kinky sex between consenting adults and domestic violence. And on the stand this morning and this afternoon, she's coming back after the lunch break, is former Diddy aide Capricorn Clark. This morning she testified that Diddy threatened to beat her if she tried to stop him from kicking Cassie when Cassie was on the floor being beaten and kicked by Diddy. She also says that she was fired in 2012, but then went back to ask for a job in 2016 because she, quote unquote, wanted to get her life back. She said she lost her job, was unable to get another job, lost her home, lost her car, and her source of income and all of that. So this is the scene out here today, a little bit lighter than usual, and full media. We're down at the little bit in the middle of that whole media group there. We have a little section for Fox 5, and that's it. It continues.